So Martha, could you join us?
So we have some wonderful people here who talk about human, nature, AI, technology, education. And Jean-Philippe already had the opportunity to basically present before, but I see many new faces here. So I'm afraid you have to talk about your passion again, and we'll talk the entire time about your passion. So maybe you start who you are, what your passion is, what your connection to AI is, because the WEF is all about AI today, and yesterday, and the next days. Please.
My name is Suren Movsisyan. I was building different AI models since 2014-15. Yeah, it's really a big passion of mine because I really found fascinated when I first learned about AI. At the time, there wasn't too much development, so I started firstly with the biggest project was in the music AI. So I started building it for like 4 or 5 years, just checking different LLM and other models that were in the market at that time. But besides music, then I experimented with other AI humans and other areas as well, which we'll discuss later on. So some of the achievement, I was listed by Forbes for the under 30 EU in the final list. I mean, I didn't win the list, but at least made until the finals. Then I built literally the world's second largest clubhouse club. At the time, it had like 57,000 members, Startup Battles Clubhouse. Then I created also AI fashion try-on application, and it got over 650,000 members, like users, literally from over 15 countries worldwide. And then I was experimenting a lot with Web3, NFTs, and AI. Like I created some, I don't know, I think some innovative and crazy NFTs that didn't exist at the time. Yeah, really excited to be in this panel, and yeah.
So this panel is, as always, people know me, is unscripted. So you want to go second?
Apparently, yes. Yeah. So, hey, good evening. My name is Philippe Sejalon. I'm one of the co-founders of the Engage Institute. We're based in Zurich and Hong Kong. And what we do is innovative training for the insurance industry.
Which is very good, because I come from insurance and banking some time ago, and I think it's always good. We need some innovation and we need some education about products. So now we have someone very special, because you are a bit out of the box in terms of ontological, you say it better, but he's a bird watcher. That's more simple to say. And he has explained before that when you have a Shinkansen train, how the Shinkansen train in Japan, with which I also traveled, is so fast and not making any noise. Does anyone know here? Has anyone watched this before? Maybe you can explain.
Yes, so I'm Jean-Philippe. I have a startup in AI called AccentJ.ai. And we're headquarters in Brussels, and we have an office in London, and we operate globally. And normally I don't say that, but I have a PhD in demographics or statistics. But I always say I'm an ornithologist, because all my inspiration in AI is coming from nature. So nature is the biggest inspiration source for me. And I showed a video in my keynote speech about how we're mimicking, it's called biomimicry, we're mimicking nature to find solutions. And in nature, they always has the best solution. So what you got to do is just look outside and be inspired, and you will find a solution for everything. So that's basically my motto in life. And I like the video that we will see in a minute, because we have 2 hashtags with our company. It's hashtag disrupt right now, or disrupt with purpose, sorry. And the second hashtag is disrupted right now. So right here, right now.
Right here, everyone will wake up now. Everyone who's in the back, please come in front. It's afternoon, it's late. I know you are tired, but we will get a wake-up call. I hope it's loud enough. Can we make it louder? Louder, louder, it has to be dark. the evolution we went through. That's why I said instead of Shinkansen, I said Schimpansen, because I had already the video in my mind. And the inspiration for this came actually from Jean-Philippe when we talked before. He said this was also part of the creation of his company, where they do the biomimicking, as he described before. So we were talking about the kingfisher bird. I'm not so much into birds, but I got this. So the kingfisher bird has this very, very long nose and can dive from top up into deep waters. And when you copy this, then it's actually quite beautiful because he can do that without any noise. And this huge train, very fast train, can also go by speed without any noise. And in AI, we see a lot of copying of what our brain has. And we also talked before, and when I was on other panels, we were discussing the neural. I have spell difficulties today, it seems. Neural languages, and also how your brain and all the 1,000 sensors you have in your brain connect everything. You were also talking about ecosystems before. So maybe we take this as also a part of the discussion, which is, in my view, the discussion we have right now. And right here is we have in the WEF, we have AI and trust is one thing, but how can we use AI to have an impact on humanity and on us? And what kind of impact do we expect? So maybe you go first, Philippe, in education. So what do you think is the biggest impact AI will have, the future of work, and how do we cope with everything which is happening right now?
Right here, right now.
Yeah.
Basically, that's exactly this thing. When you use your smartwatch, it's your little co-pilot. It gives you advice when you need it. That's the ultimate level for training in our mind. Training, you know, when you go for 1 week of training, you learn things, and then the next week you've forgotten everything. Yeah, exactly that. Now, yeah?
It's called fizzle.
It fizzles. Now, you don't want it to fizzle. You want to be here, right now when you need it. So the best training is when you need it. So if you're working, and I know I'm going to have a client meeting, for example, I go to your company, and I'm going to pitch my products, for example, selling training services. The best training is that when you're going to need the training, it's going to appear right now. So that's thanks to your watch, thanks to a little genie in a bottle being there. So that's how AI can really help you, by anticipating your need and being there and delivering the right message at the right time.
Yeah, some people would argue, however, that it's also total control because it will tell you what to do and what not to do. A bit.
Yeah.
No? No?
Well, I think it gives you some inputs, and you're the one decide. It's a co-pilot. You're the one to decide what you're going to do with these inputs.
No, I'm a total addict to AI, but I think there are also reasons we have to consider. So maybe I ask you what you think about it. Total control, dystopian, utopian future we have, and how do you make sure that what you said in education, or some of you might know the human AI pin. I don't know if you know.
Yes,
the human AI pin is a beautiful pin, I would say, which eventually replaces the smartphone, and so it might not be the Apple Vision Pro. It's a little pin. It's called Human AI. So please Google when you haven't seen it. And it's out there now. So you can buy it for $700, $800 US. You put it here, and it tells you everything. Human AI pin. And the founder is an obviously Apple person, wonderful. And what he says is, I don't want to wear something on my head to have this contact with people. I want to talk to them. And that's why it's a pin, and you hardly see it. And it does everything for you. So it does the emails, it does the phone calls, it does your whole entire life. It's extremely, I would say, advanced. Obviously, you have to train it, but have a look. So,
yeah, just a note on the human pin. We were discussing with a friend of mine, Caroline, the other day. So I think it's limited by geography right now. The human AI pin, it's probably only available for US, like a telecommunication network.
You can order it here, but you have to have a US residence address.
Yes. So yeah, but I hope, again, like as we speak about AI limitations, ethical and other aspects of AI, I think that's another thing as well. The massive adoption will come as it goes also geographically viral, so at least geographical coverage increases. So and then the other day I noticed another similar solution. It was Rabbit or Rabbit 2. So I think they are more available, at least in Europe. So they kind of try to. There's already fierce competition, I can feel. So that, which means if it wasn't a working or interesting product, it wouldn't have competition, right? So I can feel already a lot of competitors rising. So going back to the point of AI, the control and how much data we decide to provide and share with AI, I think there's has been and will always be a debate, like the amount of data we share and what we get, but we shouldn't forget also the fact that the better your data, the better the results, right? So I'll come from this perspective, as my PhD is also in econometrics, kind of algorithmic thinking. So there should always be this, I think, dilemma, like the more you give, the higher the precision. And AI's role, I understand in a way that it can help also very chronic patients, right, with our hearing and or with other issues that cannot see or hear. So I think AI's role is also transcending through that boundaries that were otherwise not at all, at least at that level, were possible prior to the massively kind of transformative language models that arise with ChatGPT and others like competitors already in the market. Yeah, I think it needs regulation as well. So I think we need to find a way not to intervene in regulatory frameworks to the innovative path that it took to raise, but still have some sort of a regulatory frameworks as well, because there's always going to be those bad actors, right, in any industry. So we can't be kind of secured with AI as well. It's just always like the use cases, like you use it for good or bad purpose.
Yeah, so data is a very, very big thing. So you
Yes.
mentioned it, healthcare is one of the biggest topics.
Exactly.
We have very scattered data. I was at a longevity lunch yesterday, and it was amazing, obviously, AI impact on healthcare and how your immune system with all the data can be analyzed and what you can live basically until whatever, but at least 150 years, we know that from our body. It's not difficult. So maybe one glass less of wine. But what they were saying is that they're analyzing the data and the blood vessels and everything, and then they can also help you, support you with not only supplements, but and your lifestyle and genetic markers and so on and so forth. So data is one of the big things in terms of positive and negative. We already give a lot of data, and we see all the big tech obviously nicely digesting and helping us with our data. So Jean-Philippe, what's your view on, let's say you have a very great connect to nature and you are very much into mimicking and AI as a tool for that. So what's your view, what's the best use cases you would say where we can use AI? It's a very big question, but I thought it's a big question for you is just right.
You're right. So I work already more than 15 years in data. So I used to have a big data company before that I sold to Dun & Bradstreet, also a small data company, and I'm being a little bit ironic now. Yeah.
This is for you.
Yes. So data is the base of everything. It's the best thing and also the baddest thing that can happen. So it's the door swings both ways, because in order to make prediction to use AI, you need to access the data, but the data is changing every second, so it brings a lot of difficulties with it. So that's one part. But the first thing I wanted to say is the world of tomorrow will be the world of AI assistants. It doesn't matter if it's a pin, if it's an app, if it's a website, if it's a whatever, a device. We all have today Alexa in our living room or in our kitchen. Well, this is the first step. You'll have, whatever you're doing, you'll have an AI assistant. If it's for sport, if it's for history, if it's for your health, if it's for doing business, you will have that. And obviously, you will need to train it. So you will need to give feedback. You need to have to give input. Today, the AI world is owned by data scientists. I'm a data scientist myself, and this is wrong. It shouldn't be owned by data scientists. And it's owned by data scientists, and we have a lot of fear of AI because it's always black boxed. So you don't know what is coming out of the data scientist. You don't know what is coming out of the algorithm. You don't know. So one of the first steps to make AI more acceptable in the day-to-day life is be transparent. Show how the machine is working, because what you know, you're less fearful to what you're not knowing. This is logic. So today told that in my keynote speech is that one of the best products today, which has an AI embedded, is Waze. Everybody is using it, and you have multiple of data in there coming from satellites, coming from carts, coming from traffic, real-time traffic information data, and you're giving feedback. So basically, the video we just saw is a gigantic algorithm. The Earth is a gigantic algorithm. It's an algorithm that exists already for 4 billion years, and it's called reinforcement learning. So it reinforces what is good, what is surviving, what is dying is just negative reinforcement. So the algorithm dies out. And that's basically what we do on Waze. We say, good, the car is still there. Good enforcement. Bad, it's not there. So it's exactly, I simplified, of course, but that's exactly what it's doing.
I think this is when we first talked, one of the great, I would say also learnings for me, in sense of I always knew obviously there's the learning from the nature and so on, but I did never have this clear picture before what you described, that actually nature is an algorithm. I think this is a great statement, not only, but also has a lot of merits. So people in the back, Philip is talking. Philip, are you using AI, Philip?
Am I using AI?
Yeah.
Probably.
Probably. Yeah, good answer. He's probably using Netflix, Amazon.
He's using Waze. He's using
Spotify.
Waze, so he's using AI.
He's using AI, but he's not, okay, not actively using new AI tools. Stephen, are you using AI? Yes. What are you using in AI? What's your favorite tool?
My favorite tool is I asked in the downstairs session, can I have a tough question for blockchain, metaverse, and AI panelists? And it came up with one.
Yes, please. So I give you the microphone so that people can hear your question.
So I use ChatGPT mostly, but I use it basically for knowledge gathering, create itinerary. I asked it, for instance, 3 hours ago, help me in Davos. And it told me what I should do. It said, it said, you bump into people when you don't expect to. But I also believe you can ask it to, what kind of question should I ask the panel? And I did that downstairs, and I asked a very tough question about regulation. Even earlier, the last panel before here, that's a ChatGPT question about who should be regulated, privacy. So I like using ChatGPT and other AI specifically to allow me to expand my knowledge on subjects I don't have enough knowledge about.
Fantastic. I think this is the best use case if you use ChatGPT not as Google, but as we would call it, ideation. So you can have new ideas. That's also what I use it for. I use it for research, but I check all my sources, obviously.
But that's a great example. Everybody was saying AI will never replace creativity. And what is it replacing the first thing? Creativity. That's exactly what you guys are doing.
May I just add one thing, please?
Yes.
So, now you're going to get access to my private life. So there was a program on Netflix called The Diplomat, and it ended on a cliffhanger. So I said ChatGPT, and then there was a strike, and there was going to be at least a year before another edition would come out. So I said, ChatGPT, what happened to the next series of The Diplomat? And it wrote the entire script of the next series. So I think people haven't really realized all the things you can do with AI. But one thing's for sure is the actual potential has still not been revealed.
That's also a second line I love to keep. The potential of AI is yet undiscovered. So if you take the first one, that nature is an algorithm, the second one, the potential of AI has yet to be discovered. I think we have already two core keynote talks we can talk about forever. And actually also in healthcare, we talked about it. One woman, I don't know if people know that here, a mother had also a child who was very, very sick and didn't know what the child had. She went to 11 doctors. She got 11 reports. No one could help. She plugged them all into ChatGPT. And it's not a lie. I mean, it's reality. She had no clue about, medicine. She was not an academic. pandemic, and ChatGPT recommended, based obviously on all the different doctors who don't talk to each other, you have to go to this and this person, and then this person, the specialist doctor, could help. So these are the kind of cases which always like make me wow, you know. I'm not saying ChatGPT should be the new doctor, but I do think there are a lot of cases we haven't discovered which are really, really beautiful and changing not only our mind, but also changing the way we interact. So from your educational background, a lot of people complain with AI that it's this kind of one-way street, and when they first go to AI, everything is wrong when what you get as an output. So as I said, the sources are wrong, and how come? So what would you recommend people do when they do education with AI? How should they approach AI? The big animal AI, how should they go about it? And you said you give recommendations to Swiss Re, to Helvetia, to other very exciting insurance companies, how they should educate their people, their clients. So how do you go about it?
Very simply, look at nature. I mean, the way we've been learning has been, you have the one person who knows everything in the front, and you listen. That's how we've done that for hundreds of years. And we learn by failing. Nature learns by failing. So we need to give the chance of people to make mistakes, to try things, to ask, to explore things. So what AI does in that case, as you said before, it gives you, we can set you in a, for example, we do training for risk management. Okay, so you have to learn how to do underwriting of a risk, how to assess the risk, and then to deliver a rate, say it's going to cost that much. So you go to a factory and you're going to make mistakes. So AI can just start seeing how you behave. You're going to analyze this factory there in Brazil, then in China, and you have to say it's going to cost that much for the reinsurance value. So you have a different game that you're going to go through, and you're going to say, oh, but here, there's a fire that could start. Here, there is maybe some water leakage that could go. So AI can set up, based on your own behavior, adapt the scenario, adapt the story, adapt the Netflix story to you, so that you're going to learn what you actually need and not the script that everybody else is going to go through. So it's mass customization.
Yeah, and Stephen, I think you will write the next Diplomat series, and you can also now create it in with AI, so they don't even need the actors anymore. And people who know Stephen, he comes originally from the not video, but movie industry, very heavily film industry. So that's a good way. That's probably also why you're a bit of an addict of these short stories. But AI, I think, is, in my view, when I started to train with AI over a year ago, so really also doing the stuff myself, what sometimes we forget is it's not a linear relationship. You always have to see it as a relationship. You talked about the AI assistant, you talked about the co-pilot. So it's a circular relationship. So it's like a little child. You train, like when you train your assistant, you train also, or your child, you set also how you train people. You let them fail, they do it again. So try and fail, but never fail to try, so to speak. Yeah? So you always have to have people also, let them make the mistakes, not only listening. Listening is not the way. Also today shouldn't be a one-way street. So maybe picking on someone else. The next question, yes.
I have a very fundamental question. Very, very fundamental.
Can I offer you this?
Yeah, I have a very, very fundamental question. And if you can explain in a very simple way, I would be very glad. What is the difference between artificial intelligence and machine learning?
Very good question. Machine learning is part of AI, so that's the first step. So it's not and, it's part of AI. And machine learning, maybe I will explain machine learning a little bit in a simple way. You have different types of machine learning. So you have supervised machine learning and unsupervised machine learning. Unsupervised machining is mostly connected as a synonym for AI, which is not entirely true, but okay, I'm not going to dance on commas. So unsupervised machine learning is, for instance, you give an algorithm to a machine and it evolves without any human interaction. In my keynote speech, I gave about the difference between a husky and a wolf. That's typically unsupervised machine learning, and the result should be, the KPI should be 90%, for instance, correctness of the output. So, and then you let the machine train itself on billions of data. It was there, Google Images, so and they could see this, the difference between, or it should train itself the difference between the husky and the wolf. But it's very difficult. Ears on the same place, tooth on the same place, or teeth on the same place, etc. Fur, different color differences, white wolf, black wolf, gray husky, dark husky, etc. So it's very difficult. So the machine needs to train, and that's why it costs a lot of energy as well, and CPU power to train all that, all to crunch all this data. That's why we have deep learning models, neural networks that we use for that, etc. And then it comes up with a result. And we hope that the machine is getting better at it. And then you have supervised, so where human interventions, and that's typically like ways where you have feedback. You give feedback. Is the object still there? Is this still happening? Is this correct? Is this not correct? So this is what supervised machine learning, and it has different purposes. In business, I would not suggest unsupervised machine learning, because tomorrow it might snow and you might take a different business decision, and the machine would never predict that. So you go with supervised. That's why you give feedback. So these are the typical, but it's all part of AI. And that's what I'm saying, is AI is very blurry, and 90% of the AI in the press is not AI. So it's...
Yeah, you had one beautiful chart where you showed on the top AI and then the different,
so it's
let's
not AI.
say,
It's business
terminologies.
intelligence, advanced analytics, whatever you can call it, but it's not AI.
Yeah.
AI, you need at least evolution. Yeah, you need evolution. Unsupervised, supervised, whatever, you need things moving forward. So that's to me a big difference with AI. Then you have biohacking, you have other chapters in there, but so it's quite complicated. But it's very difficult to explain it quite simple, because people tend to go into the details and then it's getting very blurry.
Sorry, I have one more question based on this, and I think you are the right person to answer this, hopefully. You gave me the line. So you were talking about husky and about a wolf, and you can't differentiate. Very often we have deep fakes, so where we can't recognize, is that the person I want to talk to or not? So in particular, when we combine this with the digital worlds, then obviously you can create characters who look exactly the same. You can give them the same speech. I can do a digital twin of myself, which I will do in 2 weeks' time. I'm very excited about it. It's very, very easy, but I want to have a very good one, so it takes me a bit of time. So what do you say, how do you deal with deep fake? And how do you control deepfake? Apart from regulation, we're all calling for regulation, but poor regulators have all no clue what they regulate. So let's be fair. So what's your view on deepfake? Also with elections, we have seen that, manipulation. Can you comment?
That's a great question, thank you. So I was building actually human AIs, like so I was. It's a part of the supervised learning models that I developed, but yeah, I used others' research and stuff as well. I wouldn't definitely manage myself just from the early days, but basically what the current model that I got is doing is based on just one picture. Just literally, I can take one of your picture and then within 15 minutes I can get very highly precise, like one-on-one virtual clone, let's say, yeah, AI human with all the parameters. Then I went beyond even. So I transferred the AI human through extended reality platform into the 3D.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then I put ChatGPT as a brain for that, like, but again, it's part of the supervised learning, yeah, as my colleague just mentioned. So you need, at least at this level of time as we're speaking, we need to train that specific AI to think, because each human is born different, right? And then who, if not you, know how your brain or your feelings operate, right, in different situations. So it still requires, at least at this point of time, that person's specific contribution and inputs as well. So yeah, there are different use cases. I was even reading recently that they try to give a second life to their like very close relatives, like dead bodies, let's say mother, father, grandparents, just to kind of to bring somehow the brain to those AI humans so they can interact with them somehow, kind of ask for advice. and stuff. So yeah, that's also
If you combine AI with robotics, for example,
Yeah.
and there were some already testing with elderly people or people who are very lonely, they really love it. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
They love to talk to another person in quotes. And it could be also, we don't have very skilled worker for elderly care right now, so it could be one of the solutions. So the next topic I would like to discuss.
Can I say
Okay.
just something about
Yeah.
So there are two important things to recognize deep fakes or try to recognize deep fakes is, you know, like what my colleague just said, you need to have supervision. So this is a
Yeah.
kind of control mechanism you have in it. And also is the transparency of AI. So when it's black boxed, what I just said in the beginning, then you don't know how it's made. So there should be, instead of trying to regulate as much, because, you know, like you can't stop technology. It's like raindrops on a window, they will always go down, but they will take the path of the less resistance. They will never go straight down. It's the same with technology. If you try to stop it with regulation, it will go around. So that's how tech is evolving. But the thing is then, what for me very important is how the tech will, and that on that level, how the tech will evolve. So that means that you need to show transparency in there, so that you can see this is a deep fake, this is purely machine made, and this is human controlled.
I think this is foremost the most important, but most of the time consumers struggle with transparency, as we know. I mean, we give so much data to Netflix and Spotify and the like.
Exactly.
It's full transparency, but have you read the details of Netflix? Do you know what data they have from you? No, but you love it when they have a personalized The Diplomat or any other series come to you immediately. So you love the convenience. Stephen.
I'm sorry that I have to throw a curveball. My entire business is in creating intellectual property, and it seems to me, and I went to a presentation yesterday, that AI relies on the ability to scrape intellectual property, whether it's the New York Times litigation or Netflix or Diplomat, and I'm very concerned about the ability for somebody to protect their intellectual property from AI using it without paying for a license or access. So I was wondering if the panel might talk to me about this protection, because I don't think AI can work without bandwidth. I don't think AI can work without having an ability to search Bing or Google or whatever it is it needs to find, or to scrape. So what happens if intellectual property is put behind a shield? Can AI function?
This is already happening today. The Washington Post shield is data from OpenAI and the New York Times, so they're already doing that. So to me, yes. But you always have public data. So the intelligence of AI is getting that fast that it can translate data points, like we do at my company. We translate data points into signals, because the data is changing all the time anyway. And what you're talking about is about Gen AI. So it's like one specific chapter in AI, so you have different other
But
chapters.
there is, I mean, to be bad news, but we also discussed it yesterday at the panel. Right now, right here, there is no regulation which covers AI in its entirety, and in particular not Gen AI.
Well, the new European Act is it's trying to tick on it, but technology works too fast, so that's always
So they have started.
So I think I'm a big fan of auto-regulation. So I'm a big fan of auto-regulation, and one of the simple things to auto-regulate yourself, because you're going faster than the law, than jurisdiction.
Yeah, I think it's also a cultural thing.
It's transparency.
So transparency, but also how human behave. So we rather should educate human behavior, which is the most difficult in the world, that people have principles, people have ethics. So that's what we should work on, because it's not AI, let's be frank, it's the people who use AI.
Exactly. Yeah. I compare it always with a hammer. You can use a hammer to kill somebody, but you can use a hammer to build a house. So it's what you're going to do with it.
Husky and wolf and hammers. Yes, Ify.
On the topic that you just mentioned, at the same time that the New York Times is blocking, if you want, their IP, Axel Springer has done a deal with OpenAPI, and it's basically a licensing deal, and we're going to see more of that. And at the end of the day, nobody has been questioning the ethics of data brokerage that is already going on in the pre-Gen AI era, and whose data what is public and what is not public, and who's brokering data. We don't have real ethics, and we have monopolies that are not real ethical. I think it's a great opportunity to revisit what are public goods, and maybe some regulations should come up with the idea that certain data is a public good that we've never had before.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ify. That's a very, very good point. We will see more basically partnerships with OpenAI. We see that already. So it's a train, Shinkansen train, which is already very fast going. And every one of us should get involved into AI, not because it's the hottest thing, but it's right now, right here. So thanks a lot for all of you for listening and engaging yourself. This is the closing of this panel, but I know my friend Ify will come up. I don't know when, but in a couple of minutes later. So stay here, listen to her. The next book, Fast Future Trends, she co-authors, and I have to admit I'm also one of the authors. So I love the book. I love what we have written about future trends. It's called Future Blur. So listen, get a glimpse. You are the first one who know about it. So it's not...
Exactly. Dr. Martin, may I make one just observation? I think it would be interesting.
Okay, we have to close. I have
one
to.
second,
But Pandana otherwise
Yeah,
will
so
never invite us again. So you have one.
Yeah,
one sentence.
Yeah,
one sentence.
So Google itself has no problem with AI because it's eating its SEO basically. Just let's end there because it's not able to control even that. So search engine optimization is controlled by AI in my observation.
Yeah, thanks a lot to Philip Spandana, and can we give a big applause to Spandana and Philip, who do this now for the 5th time and have collected amazing people here. So enjoy. This is one of the best events in Davos every time I'm here. Thank you very much.
That's an amazing compliment. Thank you, Martha. Terrific. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Good job. So, to finish the day, we have some more pitching. Yeah. So first up is Mindway AI with Rasmus. There we are. And then we have also a couple of student-led initiatives. And then we will have the awards announcement. So that takes us 5:20, probably 6:30, 6:45, we're finished.
Thank you very much. Hi everyone, I'm Rasmus Kjærgaard, CEO of Mindway AI. So I'm here to tell you a little bit about how we apply AI for a specific vertical. We have had a lot of conversations today and presentations about AI as a concept and different types of AI. And I can start by saying that we have the same consideration. Actually, do we say that we provide something of a machine learning kind, or do we simply just say AI? People can't figure it out. So that is why we chose to call it AI, but for the record, mainly it is supervised learning, machine learning algorithms we provide. Problem gambling is a serious matter. Problem gambling causes all sorts of chaos in families. People get divorced, spend all what they have of money and even more so. Maybe gambling for funds that have been stolen from an employer. And unfortunately, we also see that suicidal rates among problem gamblers are higher than average. So it is quite severe consequences that problem gambling can cause. So when a player plays on an online casino or placing a bet on their favorite football team at an online bookmaker, buying an online lottery ticket, then luckily most of people, the vast majority, 98, 99%, are entertaining themselves. But there are people who get into problems with this, 1 to 2% roughly. And That is the purpose we serve. We are on a mission to empower the gambling industry to enhance player protection. We do it with AI. We do it with a neuroscience-based background as a scientific founded company as a spin-out of Aarhus University in Denmark. We are operating with our headquarters in Denmark. When I started at Mindway 4 years ago, we kind of started from a blank piece of paper. We had no contract, we have no customers. I personally issued invoice number 2 in the company. So we used to be a startup, but now I think we might begin to call us a scale-up based on my experience today. So now we were founded based on 10 plus years of research in neuroimaging, neuroscience, and problem gambling. As per today, we have solutions running in 37 countries on 4 continents: Australia, North, South America, and Europe. Also soon have solutions running here in Switzerland as well. And the Aigorithm, our game scanner solution, patent pending for the record, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more detailed, is currently detecting and monitoring 7.7 million active players a month, with definition of an active player being a player who actually places a bet that generates revenue with a gambling operator. We work with local national operators soon here in Switzerland and other countries as well. In many countries, mostly also more regulated countries, we work with regional operators who have a number of jurisdictions they cover, but we also work with multinational operators as like Entain, the company owning brands like Ladbrokes, bwin, and Coral, if that is of knowledge. In particular, Entain, I will emphasize, our game scanner is an integral part of their quite widespread global responsible gambling player protection initiative or strategy called ARC. So that was a little bit about what we have achieved so far. Our business model is based on the fact that it's based on recurring revenue. We get a little fee of each active player we detect for the operators. Nowadays, when I started, we were 3. Now we are 18, 15 in Aarhus, Denmark, and 3 business development people, 2 salespersons and marketing based in London. So when we present how we apply AI for detection of problem gambling, I noticed the Google guy, is he around? No. He talked about cat pictures, and the way we explain what we do and what we provide with AI is that obviously for all AI persons developing AI solutions, it's pretty easy to develop a solution to tell whether it's a cat or not in this cat picture. The challenge is when it comes to detecting gambling behavior, this behavior is individual per human. And even more challenging is it that there's no specific definition to what to look out for in terms of detection of problem gambling. So we wanted to put in this individual human behavior detection into something that is much easier in a larger scale to build in as targets. So what we have invented, and that is actually what is patent pending, is the combination of use of human psychologists working on responsible gambling and problem gambling treatment with AI. So basically what we do is to ask our team of psychologists, who can also be local. For instance, in Switzerland, buying power is significantly higher than most other jurisdictions. So that could be a cultural or a local thing we would tailor into training an algorithm. So when we train our algorithm, we use the psychologists to do so. And that forms actually the very strong target. It also gives us the opportunity to see signs of the gambling behavior much earlier, to be able to also do a much more individualized detection of the gambling behavior. And imagine a world where we were able to actually reach out to a player even before coming into problems, just because we were able to see signs of the gambling, signs of problems in the gambling behavior. Let me see if I can get this work. Yeah. What you just saw here was these 6 steps of a gambling behavior evolving. In 90 days, this player started out in bright green as a safe and a player who enjoyed herself in this case. And quite fast we see a spike in loss chasing and fluctuating wagers, which is a very deadly combination, because that is a significant sign of something that can spin out of control, which was the case here. So if we were able to also provide gambling operators with decision making on what to do about the problem we actually detect, which we have in our solution, then a lot of things were achieved. And for us, in terms of serving the purpose, is of course that every people who are helped based on the decision making with our software is definitely what we strive for every day. So what we have kind of come to is that we provide the game scanner as an automated solution. It's based individualized detection on state-of-the-art scientific knowledge. You saw the spider web. We very much support the idea of algorithms should be explainable. Everybody who uses it, interprets it from it, take decision from it, should know how it works with the factors done so. It should be, and that is a specific thing in the gambling industry, independently developed and maintained by somebody else than the gambling operators. And finally, the performance should be able to be independently validated.
Just one question, because he's done with time. Sorry, the other mic battery got over, so they just reach it. My question is about the personal data. How do you track a gambler? I mean, do you have a device on the gambler? I don't quite understand that. And then there is the question of those are personal data, GDPR, etc. I don't know. I mean, they're very sensitive data.
Oh, that was one with diamonds. Nice. So, a great question, thanks. First and foremost, the way it works is that we have our algorithm sitting at the back end of the gambling operator. So we get all the data from the gambling platform. So if you have placed a bet or used a slot machine, then the data is transferred to our solution. In our solution, we don't know who you are. We know your gender and your age and your customer ID at the gambling operator. Also, most of the solutions, normally gambling operators are reluctant that customer data should flow outside of their control. So actually, what we provide, and that is different from our competitors, is a solution we deploy in the gambling operators' IT environment to avoid such problems.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you, Rasmus.
So we bring Sanjeev Kumar back up to present Harley Street Healthcare.
Thank you. I'll try to finish it in a few minutes. This is not a pitch because I'm told by my legal team we don't qualify as a startup. We've been around for a long time, so apparently that doesn't qualify you as a startup, and it's a good thing. But I thought what we'll do is maybe this will be a call for action because this is a pain that we feel as a healthcare company, and the pain is you can have we have 20,000 plus customers who are our patient, Even if you put them on, we had yesterday a lot of discussion around age management, longevity, wellness, healthcare, you name it. We are a product of our habits and choices. So almost 70% of our health conditions that we develop comes from bad lifestyle choices that we make. So even if you put them on a very, very strong personalized program, care program, what happens is people start to slack. And it happens. I've done that to myself. And guilty as charged. So what happens here is we decided that we will incentivize our customers, meaning our members. And the way to incentivize was either we reward them or we give them discounts, but that didn't work. So what we did is we tried this pilot program called Harley Wellness Dollar. And this is where the call of action is. Call of action is to work with the guys in the crypto industry, guys in the AI industry, insurance companies as well. So what is Wellness Dollar is a repurposed kind of reward system. And what is that repurposed reward system? So all of our customers automatically qualify for a basic Harley Wellness Dollar. Then if they continue to invest in their health and well-being, then we reward them monthly as well. And then what happens is, if they want to use that wellness dollar, they can spend it on our Harley e-marketplace, where we have all the health and wellness products, etc. They can spend that in our physical locations for whatever treatment that they want, beauty therapy, massage, and whatnot. We're also working with our affiliate partners, so they'll be able to use the Harley Wellness Dollar on our affiliate partner platform as well. Now, why this call of action with insurance companies? Because we realized that even though we have credit score, if you want to apply for a car loan, you have a credit score. But if you're applying for a healthcare insurance, it's very traditional. So we thought, why don't we build a wellness index, a wellness score? So the higher the wellness score, meaning the higher the wellness dollar that you've accumulated, the better your health is. So therefore, the insurance companies can look at your health and say, because you're investing in your health every day, you have a very high wellness dollar, so we will lower your premium. So that's one. The second thing is, because we thought it'd be good for us to work with maybe the world of crypto, we can let the wellness dollar be stored as a coin, as a smart coin, whatever you want to call it, on a digital wallet, and then maybe they can use it. We don't know if it will work or not. That's why this is call for action. The other thing which we realize is, you can have predictive software, algorithm. I won't call it AI, but you can have predictive software attached to it. So if somebody has a higher wellness dollar than I have, that means that they're delaying their, let's say, any lifestyle-related illnesses, etc. So that also gives people that type of certainty, that gives insurance company that type of certainty. It also empowers our customer. And what we want to do is we want to take it outside of our incubation, meaning we have been incubating this within our healthcare group. So the idea is to see if we can scale it up, and the scaling up is partnering with people who are in the health and wellness space, partnering with people who are in the crypto space. And this is why we're keeping it open source. What we will not change is the name Harley Wellness Dollar, because we've had some people come to us and say, why don't we co-brand it? We don't want to co-brand it, but we'll be happy to let people take ownership of it. We've had insurance companies approach us. They like the product. But we want to make sure before we go and scale it up, we have everything covered. So that's basically what I wanted to do, call for collaboration. It's not a pitch. But if you have any question, I don't know if I have time. Do I have time? Yeah, of course. Yeah, so I can answer any questions. Was it okay? Yeah. Thank you. I don't know if anybody has any questions. I guess people like Harley Wellness Dollar then, I guess. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time.